Hello and welcome, it's Willow here, coming to you from the lake house, and a very beautiful morning it is too. And in this short video, I would like to be talking a little bit into what it means to be getting started. I'm going to share a little bit about how I began the journey of this experience, traveling to the countries that I'm currently in at the moment, and to provide a little bit of insight around what it means to take a leap of faith for us as HSPs. But before I get into that, let me share a little bit of this view for you so you can see this beautiful lake here this morning. So over yonder there, you can't really see actually, but that down there is the city of Skoda. I think it's pronounced Skoda. I shall actually find out how it's properly pronounced. I have been told, but I seem to have forgotten. And as I was saying yesterday, wasn't yesterday actually, the last time I was shooting a video here, this is the largest lake in southern Europe. And it's beautiful when it's still like this. The sun in the morning is behind me in the hills behind me, but it sets also behind the hills, which means all of these hills here just come alive with pinks and yellows, and the lake gets really pink. I'll try and get a shot of that at some point to show you. But here we are, coming to you from Albania, Lake Skoda. And on to talking now about what it means to be getting started. So here we are back inside said lake house, and I'm going to continue with this piece that I'd like to share around this getting started piece. Whilst I cook my porridge this morning, I like to go for a fruit mix, usually some pear, banana, or apple and banana with a bit of cinnamon and some honey. And that for me is a great start to the day, I have to say. Now, just as a sort of a brief overview there is a little bit of washing up I'd like to do. I don't know whether that's appropriate to do that whilst on the video. I'll see how that goes. This piece around getting started is often the area that can trip us up as HSPs. And I am talking into beginning projects, beginning an endeavor, beginning a business, moving closer to our purpose. And that can be tricky because we process a lot and we tend to procrastinate as we imagine the worst case scenario that could happen if we get things moving, and that can keep us stuck. So it was a bit like that for me before I began this journey in 2019. So I knew that it was time for me to begin a new chapter of my life, and also to begin the chapter of developing and growing in luminance. And there was uncertainty around that, of course. So prior to 2019, I was on a very intensive 10-year period of growth and development and training following the loss of my previous business in 2008. So from 2008 to 2018, I was really preparing for this journey that I was going to be taking, but at the time I didn't know that. I didn't know that I was going to be embarking on this adventure in the way that I have whilst I was building Illuminance. But it was always in the back of my mind that I wanted to be abroad, I wanted to be traveling, I wanted to be exploring cultures, I wanted to be exploring new areas to potentially settle and to potentially build again, which is in my heart, and I will talk about that more as time progresses. But it was the beginning of a hero's journey for me back then in November 2019. And it meant taking a leap of faith. Yes, so this morning I believe it is going to be a little bit of apple and banana. Why not? Yeah, so this getting started piece, there were two key things that happened when I was beginning to get ready for this journey. And the first was that, was I ready and was I going to know how to facilitate people using my gift and ability as an HSP. So this was a huge part of the training that I did in the 10-year period beforehand was learning to trust and learning to own the depth of my ability and how I'm able to read people energetically and how I'm able to see and read truth and potential in others. And that was the first leap of faith, because I had had a great deal of experience in consulting and facilitating, but I wasn't doing that in full ownership of my gift and ability. It was like a sort of a part of me that would move around in my conscious awareness that I wasn't really trusting and wasn't really recognizing to be the skill and ability that I know it is today. So that took time for me to learn to get my head around what it was going to look like for me to start training people, and would I know what to do? So that was the first piece that I had to overcome, or I had to trust that was going to happen. And then the second piece was this move of taking myself abroad, because what I realized was when I began the work training people in Illuminance, my gift immediately showed up. So, and this is what I teach and train in the programs that you can see here in the community, are all about, the predominant thing that I'm doing is helping you as an HSP to understand what your gift is and how intelligent it is in what it's doing. So that was the biggest breakthrough for me when I began in true ownership of this ability, where I realized that I was able to facilitate that awareness and awakening in HSPs because I could read it all, and you have a version of that too. And then I also realized that whilst I was beginning that process, that I wasn't tied to a geographical place. I didn't have a conventional business, with an office and where I had to stay in one place. In other words, I had the just stirring the porridge. I had the potential to operate the business from wherever I wanted to, and that again was a huge realization. And I thought, well, do you know what? Why don't I begin this process? And so that's what I did. Is in 2019, I then found a house on Airbnb in this beautiful part of France that I loved the look of. And I took the plunge, and I thought, well, why not? Because if it doesn't work, I can always come back to the UK. And actually, initially, I didn't necessarily plan to be abroad for this. It is 4 years, isn't it? 19 to 24. I forget each year what my actual birthday is. I'm not very good with it. When I focus, I can think about it. Whatever that time period is. I wasn't necessarily planning on being abroad for that period of time. I thought that I probably was going to go back and forth to the UK. But I actually, I stayed abroad, and I went from place to place, and that was what felt most aligned for me to continue to explore, because I knew I was gradually making my way down to Greece. So those were the two pieces, and really what I want to share in this in this message for you is that we just have to get started, and that is scary, and it's not something that we, it takes a leap of faith to do this. It's a process of trust that life will actually support and hold us. And in order to truly know that life is going to support us, we have to be really honest about what truly matters to us, and being in alignment with what we know our purpose to be. So I know that, that it's the other paradox is that we can't have all the answers to these questions initially. We have to trust that if we're being as honest as we can and as authentic as we can about the path that we want to take, and about the truth of the endeavor that we want to undertake, that life is going to hold us, that life is going to support us, and we will find a way. But it all starts with the boldness of beginning, hence the phrase from Goethe. And once we embark on that, then new doors open for us and new experiences begin, and life truly does begin to open for us. So this is my message and my invitation is, whatever you're thinking about starting, whether it is a business, whether it is a journey abroad, whether it is to undertake a new level of consultancy, that's a very appropriate path for us to take as HSPs. We're so good at consulting, facilitating, healing, coaching, many other things too. But if you're thinking of taking on that new step in your career, in your life, it is just a matter of getting started. We have to trust that we will know what we're doing and our gift will support us. Because if we're taking a leap of faith in alignment with our gift, that is when things start to work out for us and things start to happen. And we maintain that experience of connection and joy and true self-expression. And that's when the world opens up for us. I hope this has been helpful. I look forward to your questions in the comments underneath. A key question that I'd like to ask for this video today is, what is the endeavor that you know you need to start on that you are holding back on or procrastinating on? So if you feel comfortable to do so, please let me know, and we can open up a bit of a discussion around that with the area of life that you know is time now for you to get going on, and for you to trust that the depth of you knows what it's doing. See you next time. Bye for now.